There is a single word hiding on most cream cheese labels that your grocery store is counting on you never noticing. That word is spread. It sits right next to the brand name, usually in a smaller font, and it changes everything about what is actually inside the container. I went through every major brand in the dairy aisle, checked the EFTA regulations, pulled every ingredient deck, and traced who actually owns these products. 7 cream cheese brands that are not giving you what you think you are paying for. 3 that genuinely are. By the end of this, you will know exactly what to grab and exactly what to put back. Real cream cheese has 4 ingredients: whole milk, cream, bacterial cultures, and salt. That is the complete list. The cultures ferment the milk and cream. The protein structure tightens, the fat gathers naturally, and the result is a dense, rich, spreadable product that holds its shape entirely on its own. No thickeners, no additives, no chemistry involved. The fat content is high enough and the fermentation thorough enough that nothing else is needed. The problem is that cream is one of the most expensive inputs in dairy manufacturing, and at the volume these companies operate, even a small reduction in cream per unit adds up to enormous savings. So the food industry developed a workaround. Replace some of that cream with water, then add a class of ingredients called hydrocolloids to hold the formulation together. Carrageenan, xanthan gum, guar gum, locust bean gum, carob bean gum, modified food starch. What these ingredients do at a molecular level is bind water and create viscosity. They produce the thick, rich mouthfeel you would normally get from fat without the fat actually being there. The product spreads, holds its shape, looks right. And it costs significantly less to produce than the real thing. This is where that one word becomes the whole story. The FDA maintains a formal standard of identity for cream cheese. To use that name, a product must hit a minimum fat content and stay below a maximum moisture level. But products that cannot meet those requirements, because they have swapped some cream for water, are allowed to use the name cream cheese spread instead. That single word unlocks an entirely different regulatory category. Higher moisture is permitted. More stabilizers are allowed. The fat requirement drops. And because the word spread is often printed in small type directly next to the brand name, most shoppers never register the distinction. The packaging looks identical. The front of pack claims about real dairy and fresh cream stay exactly the same. Only the formula underneath has changed. That is the gap every brand on this skip list is operating in. Here is exactly how each one is using it. Number 7. Grocery store private label brands. Kroger, Albertsons, Publix, and most regional chain house brands. The assumption most people make is that store brand cream cheese is the same product as the name brand, just without the marketing budget. In this category, that assumption does not hold. Many of these products are not made by the grocery chain at all. They are produced by large dairy cooperatives manufacturing under multiple private label contracts simultaneously, optimizing for shelf consistency and production cost above everything else. The formulation typically substitutes whole cream with isolated dairy components, whey protein concentrate and milk protein concentrate to reconstruct a texture that fermented cream would have produced naturally. It is technically dairy. But the route to get there is completely different from traditional cream cheese, and the ingredient deck will show you that if you look. Number 6. Great Value Cream Cheese by Walmart. Great Value is transparent about what it is, a budget product, priced and marketed accordingly. No heritage claims, no premium sourcing language. But read the formulation. Modified food starch, multiple stabilizers, moisture content that tells you water has been added to make up the volume, and you see exactly what it looks like when every ingredient decision is driven by price reduction. Each item on that list that isn't milk, cream, salt, or cultures is a substitution. Something cheaper standing in for something that costs more. The price at checkout reflects those decisions, so does what you are actually eating. Number 5. 365 by Whole Foods Market. The problem with 365 is not the formulation by itself, it is the expectation that comes with the environment it is sold in. Shopping at Whole Foods is a deliberate choice. You are paying more because you believe the standards are higher, the ingredients are cleaner, the bar has been raised. The 365 house brand sits inside all of that implied positioning. And then you check the label on the 365 cream cheese spread, and you find guar gum and locust bean gum, the same gum-based thickeners you would find in products sold for a fraction of the price. The premium grocery environment created a perception of quality that this specific product does not back up. If you have been paying more here because you expected fewer additives, you have been paying for the packaging context, not the ingredient standard. The next brand on this list has built one of the most loyal customer bases in American grocery retail. People defend it like a neighborhood restaurant, but loyalty and ingredient transparency are not the same thing. Number 4. Trader Joe's cream cheese. Trader Joe's has earned real trust from its customers, and for a lot of products that trust is justified. But the cream cheese ingredient list deserves a closer look than most loyal shoppers have given it. Trader Joe's cream cheese lists stabilizers on the label, specifically carob bean gum and/or guar gum. That and/or phrasing is worth pausing on. It means the product may contain either or both of these thickeners depending on the production run. The dairy alone is not providing enough structural consistency for the manufacturer to commit to a fixed formulation. A synthetic system is filling the gap. This does not make Trader Joe's the worst product on this list, but for a brand that attracts customers specifically because of a reputation for quality and simplicity, this is something those customers deserve to have in front of them. Number 3 hits differently. If you are someone who reads labels carefully and specifically reached for this brand, thinking you had already made the better choice. Number 3. Horizon Organic Cream Cheese. Horizon Organic is owned by Danone. The organic certification it carries is genuine. The milk comes from cows raised without synthetic hormones or antibiotics, on organic feed. That distinction is real, and I am not dismissing it. But organic certification governs the dairy inputs. It does not govern what additives the manufacturer can include in the finished product. Horizon Organic Cream Cheese contains organic locust bean gum. That gum is doing the exact same structural job as every other gum on this list, binding water, building viscosity, compensating for cream content that is not high enough on its own to produce the texture the product needs. The organic label on the gum does not change what the gum is doing. If you have been choosing this product specifically because you expected a cleaner ingredient list, the certification created that impression without the label earning it. Number 2 is the one that anchors everything else on this list. It is the product that defined what most Americans understand cream cheese to be. And that is precisely the issue. Number 2. Philadelphia Cream Cheese Spread, all tub, whipped, and soft-serve varieties. Philadelphia is the most recognized cream cheese brand in the United States. A 150-year-old brand. The blue packaging and foil seal are cultural shorthand for the product itself. That recognition is exactly what makes the spread line worth examining carefully. Pick up any Philadelphia cream cheese tub, the original spread, the whipped version, any of the soft varieties. Read the ingredient list. Carrageenan, guar gum, xanthan gum. 3 separate hydrocolloids in a single product, each one binding water, building texture, holding together a formulation that does not have sufficient cream to maintain its structure without them. The front of the container says made with fresh milk and real cream, and technically both are present. But the stabilizer system on top of that dairy foundation is what is doing the structural work. When a product requires 3 separate gums to function at room temperature, the dairy underneath is not carrying the load on its own. This is the formulation that has sat in the dairy aisle for decades, while tens of millions of households called it their standard. Number 1. Philadelphia Original Cream Cheese Block. This distinction matters, so I want to be precise about it. The block, the foil-wrapped brick, is a genuinely different product from the spread line. Fewer additives. Closer to what cream cheese should be. If you are currently buying the Philadelphia block over any of the tub versions, that is a better choice within the Philadelphia family, and I am not going to pretend it isn't. The ingredient list reads: pasteurized milk and cream, salt, carob bean gum, cheese culture. Carob bean gum is a hydrocolloid. It belongs to the same category of ingredient as every other gum on this list, doing the same structural job. 1 gum is a meaningfully shorter list than 3. Those are not equivalent situations. But the presence of any gum in the product that most Americans point to as the safe, reliable version of cream cheese means that even here, dairy fat content alone is not sufficient to build the texture without assistance. This is number 1 not because it is the worst product on this list. It is number 1 because it is the product most people hold up as the baseline. And even that baseline falls short of what cream cheese actually is when it is made correctly. None of those 7 brands are operating outside the law. The FDA created the regulatory space for all of this, and the food industry used it rationally and profitably. That is how this system works. But there are brands that looked at the same landscape and chose differently. Their ingredient lists are short. Their formulations are clean. And one of them is sitting in the same grocery stores you already shop at a price that is a few dollars more and a formula that is completely different. 3 brands that are actually worth buying. Number 3. Green Valley Creamery. Green Valley makes lactose-free cream cheese. But what earns them a spot on this list is not the lactose-free designation, it is the method they use to get there. Instead of reformulating the product with additives, they solved the lactose problem with an enzyme, lactase. They ferment real cream the traditional way, then add a lactase enzyme that breaks down the lactose while leaving the cream cheese structure completely intact. Fermentation does the structural work. The enzyme handles one specific issue without disturbing anything else. The ingredient list is organic pasteurized cultured cream, lactase enzyme, sea salt, and live active cultures. No gums. No stabilizers. No modified starches. If you have been buying a heavily stabilized product due to a lactose concern, a better option has been available all along. Number 2. Nancy's Probiotic Foods. Nancy's approach to cream cheese starts with a production decision that shows up directly in what the product contains. They use live cultures and extend fermentation long enough that texture and density emerge from biology, from what happens naturally when the right bacteria work on whole dairy over sufficient time. The result is a product with genuine tanginess and natural density that was not engineered in after the fact. No gums. No stabilizers. No additives to fill a structural gap. Just fermentation doing what it was always capable of doing when manufacturers allow it the time it requires. Number 1. Organic Valley. Organic Valley is the most important brand on this list for one straightforward reason: most people can actually find it. It is stocked in mainstream grocery stores, Whole Foods, Kroger, Target, and many regional chains. The price is a few dollars more than the major national brands. The ingredient list is organic milk, cream, salt, cultures. That is the complete list. No gums, no thickeners, no isolated dairy proteins, nothing that would require explanation to someone who made cream cheese at home a century ago. Organic Valley is a farmer-owned cooperative. The farmers are the shareholders. When the people raising the cows and producing the milk are the same people who have a financial stake in how the finished product is made, the incentive to substitute cheaper ingredients is structurally different from a publicly traded company with quarterly earnings obligations. Quality for them is not a differentiator in a marketing presentation, it is a direct reflection of what their own farms are producing. That shows up in 4 ingredients and nothing else. Here is what all of this comes down to. Every brand on the skip list found where the rules allowed flexibility and built a profitable product around it. That is not a crime. That is rational manufacturing behavior inside a framework that permits it. But the 3 brands on the worth it list made a different calculation. They decided the product was worth making correctly, even at a higher production cost. The result is real fermented dairy with nothing added to fill the gap between what is in the container and what the label implies. Before you next reach into the dairy case, do one thing. Look for the word spread on the label. If it is there, you already know the formula is playing under different rules. Then turn it over and scan for any gum: carrageenan, xanthan, guar, locust bean, carob bean, modified food starch. Each one of those is a sign that the dairy content is not doing the job on its own. Organic Valley is in that same aisle. Nancy's is in many of those same stores. Now you know what you are looking at. If this is how you want to shop from now on, knowing what is actually in the product before it goes in your cart, subscribe to Grocery Exposed. Every week we pull apart another brand that America trusts and tell you what the label actually means. The label is right there. It is just written to confuse you, not protect you. Now you know how to read it. See you next time on Grocery Exposed. What's really in your cart?